So we will be sitting in Virasana. So if you can, just as a change, of seated posture, sit in cross-legged or even on a chair. Make your spine tall. We worked on that for those of you who weren't here on Friday and Tuesday. We focused on pronating the palms. Yeah, you can use the yoga pata Nancy, to compact the hips. And make your spine upright. Now, be aware that there's a tendency for those particularly flexible in the lower spine to push the organic body forward. So put your hand here, and this is some of the work that we're doing today, and draw the abdomen back toward the back or the front of the spine. And you should feel a spreading quality inherent in that action. So it's not pushing, I can show in profile. For those of you, Mary Beth and others who, are more flexible perhaps and can push forward from the lower spine, be aware that now my lower spine is not perpendicular to the floor. So when I place the hand on the navel band, I use the hand there to spread and to draw the abdomen back toward the front of the spine. And then again, compact the hips to make the spines tall. So one of the things, the part of the spine that really moves in are the shoulder blades and the thoracic. And now close your eyes, relax your eyes, release the inner corners of the eyes to the outer corners of the eyes. And release the inner urgency to be somewhere else. Release any urgency to sit better than someone else. Just becoming aware of certain identities that we place on ourselves, of being worse than someone else, better than someone else. These are comparative states, all of which are unsettling states of mind. They're basically inauthentic and come from conditioning. See if you can divest in their reality. And just come back to the only place there is now, which is here, sitting and knowing that you're sitting, being at home with yourself. See if you can bring the scattered mind home, which is in formal meditation what we call calm abiding. And let all fragmentation settle. See if you can come together, removing yourself from any inner darkness that prevents us from being whole. Sense yourself calmly abiding, peacefully abiding in yourself and in this world. And then if you've made a personal vow, you can repeat that to yourself or out loud. Or you can join me in the Dalai Lama vow. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist. Until all beings are enlightened, I vow to be here to serve them all. And when you're ready, just gently lift your head up and out. Stretch out your legs. Oh, John Bantam, you're here. Haven't seen you in a while. Welcome. Hi, Suki, Tom, Carla, Andrea. All right. So as people settle in, I'd like you to do, I'll show this. So I had alluded already to when you sit, we used our hand to draw the abdomen back. And I'm bringing that to your attention because much of what we're doing today requires that action. So in order to get that action in a pose that you're very familiar with, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, I'm purposely saying the Sanskrit name and describing the pose because I really want you in this period of time going forth, to know what the pose is, name and the English translation, but also its physical shape. So if you have a wall, you can put the bolster at the wall. If you don't have a wall, don't worry about it. And then you're going to have the feet on the bolster. Lindsay, I know you, Lindsay, you do this a lot, so you know this one. And then you're going to lie back. The reason why we're doing it, and again, I'd rather have you, what's really important beyond the name of the pose, the English translation, the name in Sanskrit rather, is why are we doing Supta Baddha Konasana today this way, right? Why are we doing it? So when the feet are elevated, the abdomen gets a chance to spread. We will take the arms overhead, but let's just start with the arms classically down by the side, slightly lower than the shoulders, so the brain is not alerted. If you don't have a wall, you can just do it freestanding. So Supta Baddha Konasana is the Sanskrit name. The English translation is bound angle pose, soles of the feet together, describes the geometry, and we're doing it in this manner. Good, Nancy. The feet on the bolster to relax. Keep your head straight, looking up at the ceiling with no need to turn the head in any way. Relax. If you need head support, take it. Good. All right, you can adjust the cameras if you like so that I can see you. Hi, Lana. I don't know, John, you're on the screen twice, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine, John. All right. Listen, because we're staying a smidge of time, for those of you whose inner groins feel a sense of, John, yeah, that's good. The inner groins tender in any way, please support Polly, maybe the outer thighs, because we're staying a few minutes. So now, Tom, the soles of the feet are together in Baddha Konasana with the feet on, yes. Go, yeah, the feet, yeah, that's good, John. Get the bolster to the wall, yes. The bolster to the wall, just like I showed. Yeah, and scoot. So you have to scoot your buttocks toward, that's it. Okay, and just rest there. Andrea, don't worry about it, not having a wall, it's fine. Gail, I know with the inner thighs, you need to be careful. If you need to come up, you will. So everybody, Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, supine with soles of the feet together. And we're doing this, put your hand on your navel. And I will say, and I've said this many times, that use of a bodily part, particularly the hands, because we have access to our hands, helps encourage a certain action. So now focus on spreading the abdomen side to side and draw the abdomen back toward the front of the spine so that you're relaxing your abdomen and your diaphragm, which typically feel hard and tense when we're under stress, when we're rushing around. Supta Baddha Konasana. It's a nourishing pose. We use this pose often to encourage a sense of well-being. Basically, that's why we do yoga, to foster a sense of well-being in the body and in the mind. And then if you want to, you don't have to, you can take the arms overhead. Those of you, I know many of you have gotten third shots, a flu shot, that might not be appropriate. You can use the dowel. It's not here. Okay. Turn the arms from the inside out. You have the dowel, Suki and others, you can use the dowel and close the chain. And then those of you whose arms are overhead, you can hold the wrists, forearms, or upper arms, for those of you more mobile in the upper back. And just rest there. So do this now to elongate the side walls of the chest and your outer armpits. This sequence is not so much upper body focused. I'm really focusing today on the feet, the quadricep muscles, and the abdominal muscles. And then change the cross, but when you change the cross, re-stretch the arms overhead so that you get that length in the outer armpit, then change the cross in Baddha Hasta. So between the changes of two sides, it's important to do Urdhva Hastasana. And again, come back to why we're doing this, to relax and spread the abdomen side to side. Again, the use of the hand to encourage any actions is really helpful. So for those of you just coming in now, we're going to be supine and seated for a bit of time. Polly, you probably won't even get to do the standing work, but you can get the latter half of the class or quarter of the last quarter of the class on the recording probably by tomorrow. All right, now take the arms down by the sides and just relax your body, relax your mind. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Those of you who are able to, you can bring the feet a little closer into the perineum. That's a good thing. Lindsay, that's really good. The feet are really close in, so that must mean that the knees are not in pain. Yeah. Because those of you, just note, those of you whose heels are a good distance, maybe 6 to 10 inches away from the buttock bones, you know, it's probably because there's something going on in the back of the knee. All right, just rest there comfortably, relaxing the diaphragm, spreading the abdomen. Okay, now when you're ready, just take the feet off the bolster, place them flat on the floor, and do a quick quasi-jectura. John, I'm going to show this because I know I haven't seen you in a bit of time, and I'm not sure you'd want to look at someone on the screen. So we've been doing this a lot in this time period. My other friends can do this now, but I'm just showing John. Okay, side to side. Again, spread the abdomen, the diaphragm, and lengthen the frontal groins. Okay, John, I hope that was clear. And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and I can either show it or have someone demonstrate. Quasi-jectura, have the feet apart. Gail, this should be fine for you. Back and forth, back and forth. Good. Back and forth. Okay, now take Dvipada, which we've been doing a lot of work on Dvipada, where the knees are into the chest. Do flex the feet, open up the soles of the feet, and then you can do foot circles to the right and then to the left. You can alternate or do about 10 to the right and 10 to the left. All right, Dvipada Pavanmutasana is knees into chest pose, flexing the feet, also really good on the back. Starting off with poses that are easeful on the back, and the abdomen and the diaphragm are really helpful. Yeah, and you can do the, there's no correct way perhaps to do a foot circle, but see if you can get the full range of motion. If you don't want to do 2 feet at the same time, do 1 foot and then the other. Relax your neck, don't strain in the neck. You need head support, take it. So now knees into the chest, Tom, when you're ready. Yeah. See if you can get the legs closer into the chest by deflating the abdomen and then take an inhalation against the resistance of the abdomen moving back. That's the main action we're cultivating. Good, Mary Beth, today. All right, now slowly go to your side. Polly, I'll give you an alternative. I guess at this point you can kneel. So I'm going to give you some options. Some of you have told me that you like the bolster for Virasana. It seems like we haven't done Virasana ball poses in a super long time because typically I teach this almost every time we meet. Or you can use, as I prefer, a hard block. And hopefully I'll remember to tell you why a hard block is different than a bolster. So soft or hard. Then I have 3 blocks, as I alluded to before. So if you don't have 3 blocks, then use the bolster for Virasana. So I'm setting up for this kind of foot sequence. So I have 2 blocks on the side and then a blanket, all right, that I can shuffle in from Malasana. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I suspect for most of you, 1 blanket, 1 bolster, and 2 blocks will be fine. All right, so this is what we're going to do. And you all know this. We haven't done it in a bit of time. So I'm sitting in, going to go back onto my head, and then look, my hand is at my navel band. And I, again, ask you to do what we did a moment ago, draw the abdomen back, aim to get the buttock bones on that hard surface of the bolster. I guess I shouldn't say that because most of you will use the bolster to sit back in Virasana. Notice how my feet point straight back, okay? So you're sitting on the bolster or on, if you have a third block or hardcover book. Polly, just sit in Vajrasana for now. If anyone's knees bother them in Virasana, we are going to do Vajrasana, just kneel, and you can do Parvatasana in a kneeling posture. See that, but Lana, that's good. I know with the black mat, I can't tell, but make sure your thighs are knocked together so the abdomen spreads. Look back at the feet. Tom, that's good. So you're sitting on your tops of the feet, the metatarsals, and make your spine tall. And Polly, you just do this while you're kneeling. So this is Virasana. Now, Parvatasana is the arms are in Urdhva Baddha. So interlace your hands firm at the webbing, place the back of the hand on the crown of the head, let the elbows go out. Polly, you're doing it kneeling, and reach up, reach up. Don't let the thighs splay out. Okay, now I know for some of you who are in profile, it'll be easy, a good way for me to see this. Take your arms back, but move the top of the sternum forward, which is not so easy to do. Nancy, do this in such a way that not to push the abdomen forward. So have that, yes, there you go. That's why, you know, all the actions that I gave you 15 minutes for 15 minutes, employ them now. Imagine you had a hand there and your abdomen spreading. This is where our mind, you know, can be everywhere at the same point. It can also be very one-pointed, ekagrata. Now take the hands down, change the swap, let the elbows part, see that the thighs aren't touching so the abdomen spreads, and then reach up. Polly, that's good. Arms back, chest forward, arms back. As we get older, that's a good way for you, Suki, to do it. Just decentralize your arms as you're doing it in Urdhva Hastasana or with down. Okay, now take the arms down. All right, now watch. So you're here. This is what I call fancy footwork. So you're here in Virasana. Virasana is hero's pose. All right, then from here, you're going to take your belt. I won't show this, but you know what I mean. Belt your ankles, and then you're going to sit back on your heels and do Vajrasana. Now, if anyone feels imbalance, then put the blanket between the buttocks and the heels. But most people are able to sit in Virasana. Now, I will say, if you're in a sneaker, some of this fancy footwork is actually easier. All right. So now, John, you're in Vajrasana. You're sitting on your heels. Vajrasana. Polly, see it? You can. Yeah. Then put a blanket. Just try it with a blanket between the buttocks and the heels. Insert a bolster or a blanket to sit in Vajrasana. Vajrasana, Virasana, I said, is hero's pose. Vajrasana, English translation is oddly thunderbolt pose. Don't ask me why, but that's how it's often translated. Polly, build up the height, my friend. Build up the height. Yeah, yeah. If the knees hurt, remember the principle of height, decentralization as well. Okay, now you can follow me on the screen. So you're currently in Vajrasana. Now watch. I have the 2 blocks which I asked you to take right before. So hopefully they're nearby so you don't have to get out of it. And then watch. You're going to tuck the toes under and hold the blocks and come up to Sankatasana. And the metrics of Sankatasana, the pose I'm in now, is such that the thighs are parallel to the floor, but the feet are perpendicular. And I will say, I don't know if some of you, Nancy, are getting sneakers, that most of this work is easier. Good, Lana. Now move the heels forward a bit. So you see, Lana, the heels are moving. Yes, that's it. Look in your screen. Go in profile, guys. Go in profile. Look in your screen. Most of your heels are going back. Winnie, yeah, look at your body, your feet, and see that the feet are perpendicular. You can see this best, guys, in John, that's it, in profile. Andrea, you have to lower the thighs a bit. That's more of a malasana shape. So I'm pointing this out because Sankatasana, Malasana, Utkatasana are similar, and people get confused about the shape of the legs. Make the feet perpendicular to the floor, to the floor. Okay, now come down. All right, now watch. Just to point out the different shapes. So I have my little blanket. Some of you might need, more, 2 blankets if your heels don't come down in Malasana. Okay, so just watch a second. So I'm just assume my feet are belted in Vajrasana. So I'm sitting in Vajrasana, then I have my handy dandy blocks. I go toe squash, then I go up to Sankatasana, and then I don't need this blanket, but some of you will do. So now I can sit back in Malasana. Note Malasana, the knees are higher than the groins. Now, for many people, Polly, this is to you, Malasana is very, very challenging. So watch, if you do the sequence that I just described, we'll do it a few times, put your sacrum against the wall, and it's not chair, it's not the chair Utkatasana. Say the shape is the metrics are the same, the knees are higher than the groins, but look, Polly, I've reached out for a chair, so I end up in Malasana. You can do it that way. So the feet are 14 inches away from the wall. Okay, let's try this. All right, so in order, showing profile, good, Carl. Vajrasana, yes. Now toe squash, tuck the toes under. Again, it's easier if you have a pair of sneakers nearby, get it. Suki, these are your favorite. Now take the blocks closer to the hips, Carly, yes. Raise the thighs up. Look at your screen to make the feet perpendicular. Look at the screen to make the feet perpendicular. Okay, now slowly reach back. Lindsay's, try it without the blanket at first. Like shuffle in the blanket at the last moment, because otherwise the heel's good, Winnie. And then counterbalance with the arms out in front. That's good, Lana. Heels down. Lana, that's good. Just the heel hinge, not the whole foot. We haven't done this in some time. Okay, can we do that again in order? Nancy, I thought you had gone. You want to do it again? That was wise of you to get the sneaker. But that's a really good pose, Nancy. But when you do Malasana again, Nancy, go further from the wall. Okay, here's it in order, Vajrasana. You're sitting on your heels. Now you're on your heels. Okay, now toe squash, that's tuck the toes under, sit upright. This is really good to spread the toes, buttocks belong to the heels. Okay, now have the blocks, good, Peggy, right beside you, but move the heels slightly forward from most people as you raise the thighs parallel to the floor. Okay, now the blanket is already shuffled in, I'd say 8 inches behind the heels. Now slowly go back to Malasana, reach back, but extend as you reach back. Good, Mary Beth, Lana, good. Extend the arms forward so you're balancing. Nancy, that's it. Now you got the shape at the wall where the knees are higher than the buttocks. Okay, these look really good. Now, Polly, that's good. And now stretch out your legs. Although, Polly, I think that you could go further out from the wall because that's a little bit more like the chair squat. All right, stretch out your knees, everyone. Press the knees down. Have the feet hip width apart. Okay, so that's a very helpful sequence for your feet that you can do at any time. All right, now with or without the wall, take Supta Tadasana, have a belt. We're doing Supta Padangusthasana 1, 2, 4, and 2. And I want you to see how 4 informs 2. All right, if you don't have a wall, don't worry, but you do need the strap. Lana, forevermore, I will always think of you for Supta 2. Okay, here we go. Take your belt, any option of where you want the belt on the foot is possible. All right, so this we all know. You're starting supine. Do take head support, don't turn the neck. All right, take Dvipada after Supta Tadasana, just for the sacrum. And then keep the right knee into the chest, extend through the core of the left heel, so you're in Ekapada, good. That's it, Ekapada. All right, now place the belt across the ball of the foot. Keep the neck relaxed and take the leg to 90 degrees. Because there's no class Friday, I will teach leg stretches on the following Tuesday, just to alert you, because usually if we haven't had much yoga in a week, then it's fun to do leg stretches. Hold the belt with 2 hands. No knees. And now begin to move the leg. That, John, that's, yeah, it's straight, and at some point it will be at 90 degrees. Move the leg toward the chest. John and Tom, yes, bend the left leg. If you bend the left leg, the right leg will have a better chance of being at 90 degrees. Move the leg toward you. Polly, right above the knee, press it back. Right above the knee, press it back. So obviously, you know, I alluded to leg stretches. This is clearly a leg stretch pose, and people associate this with stretching the hamstrings, but it transcends a leg stretch pose, because as you move the leg toward you, employ your abdomen. The abdomen has to draw back toward the front of the spine. As you move the leg from 90, beyond 90. If your leg is not at 90, then do indeed bend your left leg so that the left foot is good, John, is flat on the floor. We're staying roughly 2 minutes. Okay. Now, everybody from here, hold the belt with your right hand, extend the left arm out with the palm up or palm down, and now stay present with the left side of your body. So sense that your left kidney is glued to the floor, left kidney, or left side of the waist. And now with the right hand, right leg, take the right leg out to the side, resisting the left side away. If the leg, Polly, falls short of 90 degrees, bend the right leg. Take the right leg out to the side, turning the abdomen from the right to the left. Tom, that's it. Bend that right leg. Yes. So this is for the inner groin. Scale, if it's challenging, then you can bend that right leg as well. Okay, shaking your head. No, that's good. Supta Pandushtasana 2. Now let's do this. I won't spend as long on 2 because we're coming back to it. Now go to 4. Now, I always have talked in this period of time about iterations of 4. So let me just review this because some of you haven't been here. So there's either the figure 4, freestanding or at wall, what I call, these are my terminology now, the hooking under method, where I take my forearms and hook under. Notice how the lower leg is not anywhere near the upper thigh. Let me show from this angle. And then where the sole of the foot is inside the crook of the elbow, and I'm holding my big toe. All right, so that's any iteration of Supta Pandushtasana 4. And we did it kind of in order of complexity. Yeah, John, now you can raise the left leg up and cross over. Lana, that's good. Now lift the chest, Lana. Yeah, and take the leg. Yeah, as you lift up, take the leg with you, Lana. Take the leg with you. Take it with you. Hooking under, that's why I love the hooking under method, Lana, because you have more ability to take that right shin with you. All right, now go back to 2 and see how 4 informs 2. Go back to 2. Beautiful. So poses are, I call them, oh, Nadia's here. They're friends. They're friends of each other, and they go together, right? They go together. So 4 and 2, kind of like frick and frack. They go together. If you need to poly bend that right leg, do so. Yes, remember, if your right leg is lower than 90 degrees, John, just bend the right leg a little bit, my friend. So that, yes, so John, bend it a little bit more and see how the right thigh is closer to the chest. Okay, now take the leg up. All right, and just take Dvipada. Nadia, I'll give you a chance to settle in. Dvipada. Oh, you have your sneakers on. Dvipada. That's good for this sequence today, Nadia. All right, bend the knees into the chest. All right, so just to, since some people have just walked in, so we're doing Supta 1, 2, 4, and then back to 2, seeing how Supta Padangusthasana 4, now you can start on the right side in forms 2. Okay, here we go. Dvipada, now Ekapada, left knee in, wait there, that's it, Elaine. Merge the leg with the thigh. We spend so much time on Dvipada and Ekapada, which are such wonderful poses for the frontal groins and for the abdomen. Now take the leg up to 1, we'll be here about 20 minutes, 2 minutes. Relax the hands, no need to grip the hands. If you've made a little loop with your belt, which is kind of my favorite way to do it, this way, then you can put your fingers in the loop as I'm showing, and then you're not holding that belt with a death grip. It's a very beautiful way to do it. With the loop, yeah, Lana with the loop. Okay, now move the leg, observe, start at 90, Polly, so it's still this left side, much more bent than the right. John, good, that's wise to bend the other leg, Tom, same thing, and move the leg. Keep the side ribs even. As you move the leg, employ your abdomen to move the leg. It'd be a lot harder moving the leg without the belt. Carla, that's good. Relax the neck, keep the neck long and free. Keep going. If you want to raise the chest and raise the head up to the more of the final Supta 2, where you're bringing the shin to the forehead, that's fine, but that's a lot to ask for early on in the class, having not done dog pose or poses like Parsvottanasana. Let your mind be with the metrics of the pose. So the legs are straight, the side ribs even, the abdomen is drawing back, that left leg is in line with the left shoulder. Okay, now to go into Supta 2, as we did on the other side, hold the strap with the left hand, extend out through the right, and even before you take the left leg out, turn the abdomen left to right. So you stay with the right side of your body. You know you've gone too far if the weight falls onto that left hip. If it's helpful, in order to keep the hips balanced, decentralize the right leg. I didn't say that on the other side, but you all know that. We've done it many times just by taking the right leg out of the median line a little bit. Good, Peggy. All right, these are good. Now, in a moment, we're going to do Supta 4. What I would say is this. If let's just say your external lateral rotators are tighter on this left side, then pick a different iteration than what you did. You don't have to always do the same iteration right to left. I mean, this is body wisdom. This is self-study, svadhyaya. So if you feel that the left hip is tighter than the right, then employ the figure 4 method. If it's more easeful, then do the under the shin method, or the foot in the crook of the elbow method. So this is why we have many different methods to do a pose. Good, Polly. And now pick the one that's best for you at this particular moment in time for that left hip. So it can be figure 4 at wall, Tom and Elaine, what you're doing, or freestanding, or hooking under, or placing the left foot into the crook of the right elbow. If your head is up, make sure your neck is relaxed, or if you're staying a long time with the head up, then I would support it with a bolster or blanket, because it's hard to hold that without straining. Okay, and now release the leg. Take Dvipada for symmetry, flexing the feet. And go back to, now you can join us with doing some foot circles. So just, yeah, that's it, Lindsay. Just circle one foot at a time or both feet together, just to open up the soles of the feet to get mobility in the ankles. All right. Now we're going to need a strap, the same strap that you did the Supta cycle, obviously, and a blanket. Most people need a blanket for Anantasana. And the blanket will between your ear and your shoulder. So just watch for a second. So we, Anantasan is couch pose. And I'm supporting my head so the head doesn't drop. The ear should be parallel to the floor. And then we're starting on our side. Well, you can start on your left side. I'm starting on my right, but since we typically do the right side first, you should start on the left. And then you're going to start in what we call Parsvattanasana. And I'm extending the arm that's away from the floor to again engage my abdomen. Then I'll do a quick sideline vrikshasana, and then I'll use the strap in the same way you did in the Supta cycle and take the leg up to Anantasana. Okay? So let's do it in stages, starting Parsvattanasana. You're on your left side, head is supported so that the the head is not at a slant. And then extend, you're on your left side, extend the right arm beside the hip so that you're balancing on your side, which takes abdominal strength. That's it, John. Okay, wait there. So this stage is Parsvattanasana. It's Tadasana on its side. Feet can be at wall if you feel tippy in any way. You can even, Carly, you're near the wall. You can even have your back against the wall. It's up to you. There are many different ways. All right. Now, going from, have a belt nearby. So you're on your side, buttock flesh are moving to the backs of the heels, side ribs away. And then you're going to come into what I'll call a sideline vrikshasana, where the sole of your right leg is as high up on your inner thighs as your knees will allow. As your knees will allow. Open up that frontal right groin toward the screen. So the mantra here is knee back. Knee is moving back toward the hydro, Lindsay, for you, as the groin moves forward. Wait there. Holly, that's good. Okay, now the belt is nearby. Place it accordingly across the ball of the foot. All right, now take the leg up. It will feel like Supta Padangusthasana 2 on your side. Leg is straight. Leg is straight. See that your kneecap, look at your right kneecap and see that it's not facing the screen, but rather facing in line with your head. That's good, Carl. Turn the inner knee to the outer knee. And again, sense that your right groin is moving forward, but the leg is moving back. Yes. Leg back, groin forward. Nadia, that's good. Make sure the abdomen, Nadia, is moving back. So you have to imagine you're wedged in between my hands there, right? Wedge it like I always say, that sardine effect. Okay, this is good. All right, now take the leg back to the vrikshasana, back to Parsvattanasana, and change sides. Those look good. Again, option, if you're feeling, Nancy, if somehow you feel like off balance, have the feet at the wall or back against the wall, so you're not struggling. Okay, let's see Mary Beth. Here we go. Stack the feet, Parsvattanasana. Most people will need a blanket. Wait there. All right. Extend the top arm by your hip so that you're engaging your abdomen. Yeah, it can be a lot like that, a little bit off away from the hip. So you can feel that in order to balance sideways, you have to recruit the abdominal muscles. Now place the sole of the left foot as high up on your inner right thigh. Weight there, knee back, groin forward. Groin forward to the Soji screen, Nadia. Groin forward to the Soji screen, Nadia. Knee back. Mary Beth, yeah. So the knee is moving back toward the bike, the groin forward. Groin, right, that window. Okay, now put the belt on and take the leg up. That's it, Nancy. Take the leg up. Now go. That's it. Keep that belt, the arm that's holding the belt, that left arm should be straight as it was straight. Good, Winnie, when you did Supta Padangusthasana 2. Leg back, going forward. Leg back toward the, say you're in front of the wall. That leg, Elaine, is going back toward the wall. Carla, back toward the blue wall. Groin forward. Groin forward. Groin forward. Okay, Now come back to the Vrikshasana stage and then appreciate the stages in a pose. Extend back to Parshvattanasana. Good. All right, now we're going to use gravity. Gravity is great to use. We're going back to Anantasana on your left side. You don't need a blanket because we're doing this rather quickly. I mean, you could use it, I'm just not going to. So I'll just do this quick demonstration. So I'm going back to Anantasana and then I'm going to Supta Padangusthasana 2. Okay, so Anantasana to Supta Padangusthasana 2. And it's very easy because you want to fall back due to gravity. All right, so this is also, if anyone has any fear of falling back, it gets you out of that mindset. But do make sure that when you take your leg out to Supta 2, you have nothing behind you, because the worst thing is to fall back on your back on a brick. Okay, all right, so Anantasana on your left side, same place where we were. But I know I showed it quickly, but do touch each stage. It really makes a difference. Parshvattanasana first to get the abdominal action. Then Vrikshasana to get the knee back, groin forward. That's a Lindsay thing. Then belt on, Anantasana, third stage. There could be 4 stages too. Wait there. Okay, now roll back to Supta 2. Just have fun. Let gravity, yes. And make sure that you don't have anything for your back to crash on. All right, now here's the part that I purposely didn't demonstrate. Now, you just were in Anantasana, recruit your abdomen, come back up to Anantasana quickly. Recruit your abdomen, come back to Anantasana. I didn't show you that for a reason, because I wanted you to just feel it in your body. Okay, you're in Anantasana. All right, now Supta Padangusthasana 2 again. We're doing the repeating Good Mary Beth. Okay, now recruit your abdomen. Remember what we did prior to this, and then go back up to Anantasana. Get a little momentum, that always helps. Okay, change sides. You're now on your right side, taking the left leg up. Now on this side, you know what we're doing, so it's going to probably be a little easier. All right, so it's Anantasana to Supta Padangusthasana 2. Feel how in order to get back to Anantasana, you have to recruit your abdominal muscles. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, because then you have to go against gravity. So go in stages, Parshvattanasana first. Extend the left arm beside your hip, then sideline tree pose, sole the foot on the inside of the thigh, wait there. All right, now take the leg up, Anantasana. Good. Okay, now Supta 2, roll back, have fun, enjoy it, enjoy the ride, widen across the pubic bone. Now, recruit your abdomen, get a little momentum and lift back up. Good, Lana, lift back up. You can feel how the abdomen has to draw back to the front of the spine to get back up into Anantasana. And repeat, go back to Supta 2. Recruit your abdomen, Anantasana. Okay, and then come back through Vrikshasana sideline through Parshvattanasana. Okay, now the last one, we're doing Supta 3. I put this separately to 1, 4, and 2, because I want you to use Supta Padangusthasana 3 as a platform for Garudasana. So I'm saying that because I have to incline your mind to this. So watch. I should show this. I'm going to show this frontally and then sideways, because there's been some questions about this. So we start back in 1. We've already been there. Then I hold the belt with my left hand. And then look, I'm putting my hand on the inner thighs have to resist each other. I could say the groin, the right groin and the left groin don't commingle. Now, if you don't have a belt, a second belt, you could use your hand, or I'm taking another belt. I'm going to show you this. I'm going back to the right side. I'm putting the belt right up against my inner right thigh. Anyone who has a hip problem must use the belt in this manner or the arm, and I'm resisting. Now, as I resist my inner thighs away from each other, let me show in this profile. This is really important. Lana, I want you to see this. I should show it frontally, as resist the inner thighs. I'm aiming to get the right kidney for the floor. So this is what often happens. I have to showing this pose today, spending a lot of time showing it from every angle. So I'm still, I don't want anyone's abdomen pushing forward to the screen. All right, so make sure you're not overarching, Lana, in the lumbar spine in Supta Padangusthasana 3. Is that clear, or do we need to take a break? Everybody good? Crystal clear? Thumbs up? All right, Supta 3. All right, line your back. Nadia, did you have a question? So there's a lot of confusion about this pose, it seems. All right, so bye, Polly, nice to have you. Thank you. All right, start at 1. If you have a second belt, use it. Nadia, Lana. If you have a hip issue, then certainly you have to use it. No ifs, buts. Okay, now hold the belt with the left hand. Now, before you take the right leg to the left, stay on the median line. Stay on the median line. Stay on the median line. Now, cross the right leg to the left, but not, the right hip is going to lift up, good Gail, but not so much that the right side of the waist comes strongly away from the floor and moves your abdomen forward. So you have to resist back. Don't let the groins commingle. The right groin belongs to its side. I'm just saying it in different ways. Good, Nancy. Left groin belongs to its side. You should feel, if you could put your 2 hands in between the thighs, which is an action I want you to get in Garudasana, they should resist away from each other. Otherwise, it's an unhealthy action on that right hip. Remember, those of you whose leg, we'll do this later in a minute. Okay, now take the leg back and change sides. Okay, left side, take the leg up to 1, hold it with the belt. You have to resist the inner thighs away. So just look at the screen for a moment. This might be a good visual. In addition to the arm, in addition to the belt. It should feel when you're in that pose, that very asymmetrical pose. You see how I'm using my hands? The inner thighs resist each other. So this left hip, the left side that you're doing now is not crossing over. Those of you who know where I'm going with this, Garudasana, this will make complete sense, hopefully. Okay, here we go. Left leg up. That's good, Peggy. Resist, put the belt in. And actually, even if you didn't have a hip issue, it feels really good to get that non-commingling of the groins. Non-commingling. So the left belongs to the left side, right belongs to the right. Now you're holding the belt with the right arm, and now stay on the median line, cross left over right. Don't let the groins commingle. Don't let the groins commingle. Carla, see if you can take the leg a little bit more to 90-degree angle to the right side to the chest side. Resist, those of you who are working with the belt, Lindsay V and Peggy, wonderful, resist the inner thigh away. So that's the main mantra. In this Supta Padangusthasana 3, you have to resist the inner thighs away from each other. Okay, now come back up, and I think some of you will be helped by this way. So watch, going back to that right side, holding with the left hand. Now, some of you have the leg not at 90 degrees. So this time I want everyone to bend the leg so that the thigh is closer to the chest, and then straighten, bend, straighten, bend, straighten. We've done this many times, okay? I think, and this will help us in Garudasana. So remember, the inner thigh is resisting away. So the right leg is crossing a smidge to the left as the abdomen turns from the left to the right. And then in order to get that right thigh, keep the leg though in its space, in its airspace, simply bend and then stretch. Bend and stretch. That's it, Maribeth. Good gal. Bend and stretch. This should feel really good on your outer right hand. Lana, that's fine to use you have to use the belt for sure. Nadia, use the belt. Even though the leg is bending, you gotta use the belt. Yeah, that's it. Just imagine I'm standing in the room next to you and pulling your inner right thigh to the left. Good. Do this a few times for the outer hips. And then when you're ready, change sides, left side, in that same manner. All right. So we're using this whole sequence now as a platform for supine and standing Garudasana. So you're on your back, Left leg is up, staying on the median line. Use the belt if you need to. Anyone who has a left hip issue needs to use the belt. That's it, Gail. And then bend and stretch. That's it, John. Bend and stretch. John, see if you can cross that left leg a little bit to the right so it's not so much on the same plane as your chest, but slightly crossed over. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, get the leg to cross over a little bit in that orientation. All right. Now this is where we start having fun. Okay, so let me just show this. We've done this we've done this, but not so recently. So I'm going to start in Dvipada. I'll show you frontally. If I need to change viewing points, I will. And now I'm crossing my right leg over my left. Okay, those of you who can hook, be my guest. If you're not hooking, you need a swivel. Just keep the foot adjacent to the angle. Okay, and then I'm going to draw my knees closer to the chest in this supine Garudasana shape. And then to make it really fun, I'm going to interlace the hands behind the head, have the elbows in that slight U shape like Ardha Navasana, and then drawing my abdomen back, I clear the shoulder blades away from the floor. I lift the shoulder blades up. It's an abdominal action as it draws back. And this is basically Garudasana, which you all know and love, standing. Okay, let's do it. Now, I would say for those of you who have a hard time doing supine Garudasana, doing it like this, watch. So you can just go in and out with movement. Look, don't worry about hooking. Hooking is more moving on. It's also a function of calf flesh. You have large calves, bulky, or I shouldn't say bulky, well-muscled calves. It's hard to hook. Then just put the foot beside the ankle. This movement will benefit some of you. It's also fun. All right, here we go. So basically, we're aiming to get the legs in supine Garudasana, supine on your back, Garudasana, eagle pose, with movement. Okay. Gail, see if you can adjust the shins so that that's in there, to parallel to the ceiling. Carla, good. Now wait there, supine Garudasana. That's it, John. Now lower, John, the shins a little bit so that they're parallel. Now interlace the hands behind the back of, at the occiput, not so much in the neck. Now remember, this is the hard part. You have to clear the shoulder blades off the floor and lift up. See if you can do 10 times. 10. Nadia, yeah. Get the shoulder blades, Suk, off the floor. Elbows a little bit closer in, Suk might help. Clear the shoulder blades. Clear the shoulder blades. Tom, yeah, that's it. So your shoulder blades are here. If you gave yourself a giant hug, they're right here. And I want to see them off the floor. That's it, Mary Beth. Knees in. It's like a Dvipada, and then some Garudasana, and then it's like Ardha Navasana. Nadia, how do you like that? Combining all three. All right. All right. Change the cross, Garudasana, and again, sit-ups. Remember, aim to get the shoulder blades off the floor. Aim to get, yes, Suk, you have it now with the shins parallel. Good work. These look good, really good. Don't worry about hooking. All right. And then take the knees into the chest. So maybe a while ago, I had alluded to, I was reading, Gail, that book by Frank Littman, who is a doctor in a practice in New York. And he talks about this sit-stand test, which predicts longevity. I clearly don't think it predicts longevity, but that's what we're about to do. So we're going to start with the chair. And this is the easy variety. Nance, I hope you're not rolling your eyes, right? All right. So I'm going to sit on the middle of the chair. And notice how I'm on the middle of the chair. And my feet obviously are pressing into the floor. I will say that some of this work is easier again with a sneaker on. Now watch. I'm going to pronate the hands on the roots of the thighs. And this is, this is great work for your feet and your quadriceps. And then I'm going to get up. All right, so no hands. I sit down and I get up. I sit down and get up. All right, most of you will find this easy breezy. So you're sitting in a chair on the bed and sit up, and stand up. Have the feet apart and do about 15. You have to spread the feet. Watch that the knees don't collide. Stand up. So clearly for all of you, this looks rather easy, and that's good. Then we know in order. Good. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Okay, now before we do another set, do this, because that was quite easy for you. You're going to turn, so I'm facing you, I'm turning my right foot out, and I'm gonna lift the leg so that the back of my right thigh clears the chair seat. So I'm lifting this leg, turning the right foot out, and clearing the back of the right thigh from the seat of the chair. Do 10 that way. And we'll go back to the stand, sit, stand. Do the right leg. Try not to lean back. Try not, I know it's easy. So I'm sitting, so without leaning back, sit upright and lift the leg. It requires a lot of quadricep strength. Turning the right foot out for the vastus medialis. Okay, now in between the right, you can do it any way you want. In between the right and the left side, again, stand up, stand up. For those of you who are young, I know this is very easy, but as you get older, this will get harder. Then after 15, you'll go back, turn the left foot out, and repeat on the left side, just for fun. Okay. That's it, Nadia, sitting up tall in the middle, yeah. So you don't want to lean back and use the back rung of the chair. All right, stand up a few more times. So at least you've probably done 15 and then now another 15 to make it 30. Good, that's it. Keep going. All right, now this is where it gets a little bit harder. So maybe to make a natural progression, you could have a bolster, watch. So we didn't do it this time. The way I taught it last time, Nancy, if you remember, we started from the floor up. That was a lot to ask for. So now we're on the chair. Then I have the bolster, watch. And I'm sitting on the bolster. All right. Now I'm crossing my legs, and I'm not going to give you instructions. I'm just crossing my legs. You have to figure out, this is what I want you to glean from this. I'm not going to give you the instructions of how-tos, which is not our method, but I'll show you, so maybe you'll see it. And then I'm going to get up. I'm going to go back down, and I'm going to get up. And I want you to tell me, how do you get up from a cross-legged position? Because it's fairly obvious if you think about it. So you're sitting down, Mary Beth. I was reviewing this tape, and I remember watching you doing this. So now I'm looking at you now. Go back up. Try not to use your hands on the bolster. Good. And then come back down, change the cross, sit down. So sitting down is easy because that's gravity. Now change the cross, and now stand up. Lana, that's it. So you clearly know the method, Lana. All right, go back down and up. So let me just say, when the feet are turned out, which they typically are in swastikasana, it's really hard to stand up. So you have to position your feet in such a way so that the feet are more like they were on the chair, pressing into the earth. Sneakers is helpful, and then get up. So you want to have more of your foot, more of the circumference of your foot on the floor. So do it that way when you're ready, a few times. There are other ways to get up, but this is probably the easiest way to do it. The other way is taking the knee slightly out of the alignment. Elaine, watch, so yeah, try not to use the hands. If you need to soup, then the chair in front of you is really helpful. All right, a few more times from the floor up. Okay, now from here, stretch out your legs. And then this is what was challenging, Nancy. I remember the last time we did this, instead of doing that leg lift on the chair, see if you can do 10 more right, left side with the legs more in Dandasana. Again, try not to lean back, all right? So you're lifting up in Dandasana, take your right leg up 10 times, left leg up. Lift the leg. You can sit on the bolster as well. John, see if you can bring the legs a little closer in, and also you can sit on the bolster so that the sacrum doesn't roll back. Yeah. Lift the leg up, turn the right foot out. Tom, that's good on a bolster. So the same exact thing, it's a little bit harder without the chair. That's it, Nancy. And then turn that right foot out a little bit more. The left foot out. So left foot. No, it's your right foot. Yeah. Right side, then left side. All right. Now we'll do something for the knees. Lindsay V, we're going to do that now in a second. I want you to take your 2 blocks, everyone, and place them lengthwise to accommodate like we would do if the feet were on the blocks, but we're not going to do that variety. So they're lengthwise to the wall. All right. So a lot of this work is about the feet and about the quadricep muscles. So now watch. I haven't taught this way. I remember the Israeli yoga teacher Ilya Shafroni had taught dog pose for the thighs in this manner. So watch. I'm going to place the heel hinge on the front side of the block. So my feet will be up. And that helps me lift the kneecaps up, but also I really feel my quadriceps. And that's exactly what we're doing in the previous poses. So this is Adho Mukha Svanasana for and from the quadriceps. Okay, let's take it in that manner. So it's not often taught this way. So good, Mary Beth, the heel hinge is right on the anterior. That means the front side of the brick. So the heels are up, the toes and the soles of the feet are down. And look at your knees, you see how the kneecaps are lifting. Make sure, because we're doing dog pose with the feet at the wall, there's a tendency to shorten the distance. So some of you need to walk the hands out more. So Adho Mukha Svanasana. We haven't done much for the arms, and your armpits may feel tight, but that's often just a function of the sequence. So know that this sequence is not particularly arm-centric. That's good. Keep the neck long. No need to turn the head. Turn the upper biceps from the inside out. John, see if you can get the thoracic spine to move away from that. Yeah, that's it. Away from that wall that you're facing, John. If you're not doing Adho Mukha Svanasana, probably Uttanasana might be the best at this point. So I want you to feel your kneecaps lifting and your quadriceps lifting. All right, now come down to a kneeling position. Come sufficiently away from the wall. Elaine, you can do modified warrior 3 now if you want. And we're doing one-legged dog pose. So come away from the wall so that when we raise the leg to one-legged dog pose, the foot doesn't hit the wall. All right, so from an all-four position, up you go. Now you won't, unless you'll need the blocks if you're using them for the hand. Otherwise the feet will be on the floor now. Okay, up you go, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Yes, Lana, that's good. Armpits long, that's a jump. Now draw the feet together, they need not touch. Now, from the abdomen, from the quadricep muscle, lift the right root of the thigh. Keep the legs straight like Supta 1. Hips bounce. Descend. And now lift the left root of the thigh, lift it straight up, lift it, see how the abdomen draws back in that action, like we alluded to in Supta Padangusthasana 1. So you're coming into Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana from the abdomen. Now rest in child's pose. Take a good rest. If your knees bother you, just kneel. All right, so typically we teach this from the leg. We always go to the big part and the bony part. But I want you to repeat Adho Mukha Svanasana, one-legged dog pose, sensing that you're lifting the right leg from the abdomen, the more organic part and a smaller part. So as we teach our younger yoga from the big parts, then we move to the small parts. We go from outer parts to inner parts. So now I want you to connect one-legged dog pose with an abdominal pose. All right, here we go. Up you go when you're ready. So you're doing dog pose again, everybody. Well, then you can repeat modified warrior 3. Good, Lana. All right, draw the feet together. So we're all in dog pose. Now, connect with your abdomen. Imagine your hand, which is both hands are on the floor, but imagine your hand where it was earlier on in class at the abdomen. Now lift from there. Lift the leg up, but since it lifts from your abdomen, just like your right leg moved to your chest, so resist the upper thoracic back for you. Okay, now descend, right leg. Now you're doing the pose from and for the abdomen. Ascend the left leg. Let it come from the abdomen, not so much from the skeletal bone part of your left leg. That's it, Suki. Thoracic moving away from the screen, Sue. John, thoracic away from the screen. Thoracic away from that wall, John. Okay, and out you come. All right, now you're going to do a wall, what I call a wall. I don't know what you call it, Nadia. A wall Utkatasana. So this is, you're going to be, you'll need a wall, or you can use the bed, Andrea. Watch. So this, I want to time this one. So you can see we're doing a lot of work. All right, I'm going to time this for 2 minutes. So I have to get my knees over my ankles, my thighs at a right angle. Again, I'm working on my quadriceps. And here's the thing, we are going to stay 2 minutes. If you need to come up, of course, do so, and then go back in. All right, so let's do, all right, that's it, Mary Beth. Stand about 12 inches away, stand enough away from the wall so that when you bring your thighs to parallel to the floor, your knees are over your ankles. All right, don't let the inner knees roll in. All right, now come into it as I time. What? Yeah, don't let the thighs go out. Keep the 4 corners of the knee pointing forward, arches lifting. Yeah, you can have the hands on the roots of the thighs, which is a little bit easier than overhead. That's it, Nancy. Just find some ease. Be with the breath. Be with the breath. Be with the breath. Relax. Relax the hands. Relax the throat. If you need to come up, then by all means, come up and then sit back down. Resist the inner thighs. You can do this. Resist the inner thighs away from each other. See that your thighs are as close to parallel to the floor as possible. You need to come up, and then sit back down. I hope someone's time. Okay, 30 seconds more. Breathe. Lift your toes up. That will help some of you. Lift your toes up. Toes up, shins back, thighs down, chest up, thighs down. And now the very best way to come out of this pose is to slide up the wall. You can put your hands on your thighs and then come away from the wall. All right, now we're going to do Utkatasana. As I alluded to, Utkatasana's shape, the metrics of Utkatasana is very different. Remember at the very early on, right? Like an hour ago, we were here in Malasana, where I said, I pointed this out, the knees are higher than the groins. Now in Utkatasana, I'm going to have you pronate the palms to the roots of the thighs unless you absolutely need to take the arms overhead, which I know is easier. And now, can you see how the groins are higher than the knees? So see how this is dramatic, this metrics of Utkatasana is dramatically different than Malasana, right? Notice, Mary Beth, the chest upright, more upright. So this is a challenging pose because most people want to do something like that, where the buttocks are not belonging to the backs of the thighs and the chest seems more like Virabhadrasana 3. I want the chest upright. Now, for some of you, Lana, taking the arms overhead helps keep the chest upright. Otherwise, take on the challenge of pronating the palms on the roots of the thighs, because we spent a lot of time with that, okay? So kind of see where we've been. And good, Winnie. Okay, now with movement, go down 6 times. Aim to get Mary Beth the chest upright. If you need to, you can use the arms overhead. Elaine, see if you can get the chest also more upright. You can do that, Suki, at the wall. Abdomen has to go back. Abdomen back. The knees will go slightly beyond the heels. Some of you also raise the toes up, will help you move the shins back. Feet can be apart or together. Apart or together, either way. All right, now you can show me in profile the full pose, feet together, raise the arms up, reach up through your inner arms. Okay, now lift the toes up, arms up, toes up, arms up, toes up, toes up, arms up, and now sit down. As much as you go down, go up. Mary Beth, that's it. Good, Andrea, go up. But the heels have to be on the floor. Don't let the heels lift. Remember what we did in Malasana. Elaine, that's good. I don't want anyone's abdomen, Lana, moving forward. You have to imagine I'm behind you and I'm hugging you like this. So the action in the abdomen, this is a good description. If you were standing in front of me, I'm going to show you the adjustment in a virtual situation. So you're you in front of me, and I have my knee slightly bent, and I put my hands in this manner right here. This is a really, I want you to see this, and then imagine I'm doing that to you. So instead of this, you're here, okay? Does that make sense? John, that's it. Okay, now go down. One final last one. From Utkatasana, for and from the abdomen. One high quality one. Abdomen back. Gutted flesh belongs to the leg side. And now up you come. All right, now we're coming full circle. We're going to do Garudasana. So we did it supine. So you will stand on your left leg, and notice how I'm bending both legs. And then I'm going to entwine the right leg, watch, around the left leg. Now here's the problem, you can see it. When I entwine the right around the left, this right groin is commingling with the left. So remember I told you about my hands between the thighs, resist your inner thighs. So this is what often happens. People want to hook. For some reason, they're so intent on hooking that they end up here. So in hooking, you have to find out, everyone, in hooking, did your inner right groin collide with the left? And then I would say, don't hook, so your frontal hip bones are facing forward. That's the metrics of Garudasana, okay? I hope that's crystal clear, because I really think, Nadia, everyone is so focused on hooking the darn foot over the other leg that they commingle the groins and end up here, and then they've lost the pose. So why bother? So the question to ask yourself, everyone, is bend your legs slightly in Tadasana, both legs. Keeping the left knee bent, entwine the right leg around the left. But here's the thing, if you're going for the hook, find out, Lindsay V, in that hook, don't let the right groin cross over. Put your index fingers at your frontal hip bones. Good, Carla. They should be facing forward. Good, Lana. Facing forward like headlights. So basically, if I said to you, find Utkatasana and Garudasana, would you know what I mean? We just spent, 5 minutes doing Utkatasana where the frontal hip bones are facing forward. Garudasana is entwined legs, but the frontal hip bones have to face forward. Okay, other side. So that's a good explanation of the pose. All right, other side, yes. Nadia, put your hands there. If you have a left hip problem, put your hands as I showed. Resist those inner thighs. Resist the inner thighs. Okay, now go back and put the arm position of Garudasana to the full pose. So the arm position of Garudasana is this, where the triceps are lifting. All right, so you're standing back on your left leg, entwine the left. Find out in entwining the leg if you've kept the Utkatasana action in the hips. Don't let the groins crisscross. Now, Garudasana arms 2 ways, right arm below left and left arm below right. Why not? Carla, that's excellent. And then lift up. All right, change sides. Garudasana with even, Steven frontal hip bones. So just take Utkatasana now. Take Utkatasana, one more. Utkatasana is symmetrical. So the hip bones are pointing forward. Now quickly entwine the left over the right. But find out, Mary Beth, in taking the leg over, did you crisscross the groins? That's the main teaching. Watch the crisscrossing, Elaine, Sue. It looks like to me from this angle, it's crisscrossed. So I'd rather have you not hook, or don't be overzealous with that entwined leg. All right, now everybody, let's do I know, Elaine, you already do it. Do modified warrior 3 with the blocks, I'll show. But I want you to connect the abdominal action that we gleaned in one-legged dog pose now. So watch. I have to look at my leg in the mirror because last time I taught this, it wasn't parallel. All right, so my arms are up, the arms are down. I'll stand on my right leg. Sorry. And now I'm lifting the left leg up, but I want you to focus on lifting the leg up from your abdomen, like you did in one-legged dog pose. I want to see that everyone's leg today is not here. Hip bones are even, nor here. Hip bones are balanced, just like they were in Utkatasana, Garudasana, and now in Warrior 3. Lift your leg up from the abdomen. So arms up, arms down, hands on the blocks. The blocks are generally, for most people, tall side, because we want the body, the metrics of this pose is such that the chest, the body is parallel to the floor. Have the blocks directly underneath the shoulders. Okay, now standing on your left leg, lift the right leg from the abdomen, Look at your screen so you can see yourself. I can certainly see. Make your leg straight at that 90-degree mark like Supta 1. Good. Now descend the leg and then start again. Arms up, reach up, exhale, bend forward, chin up, look up. All right, now lift the left leg, not so much from the left leg, but rather, good, Nancy. That's it. This is, Nancy, I think the last time we did this, it also got better. Lift that leg. Imagine I'm holding the root of that thigh and you had your hand on your abdomen. Lift the leg up so the hips are balanced side to side. Okay. And then descend. All right, I'm going to spotlight Lana now. And don't overthink this. I want you to go from Garudasana, Lana, you've done this before, to Warrior 3. But you don't have to extend the arms forward. Just simply place the hands on the hips. So let me spotlight. I hope I haven't forgotten. Okay. All right. So wait, everyone, for 1 second while I spotlight Lana. Okay, Lana, I'll take you through it. So this is an interesting way to do Warrior 3. And one is more focused, actually, less on balance and more on abdominal strength. So now that's good from the profile. So pick a leg, any leg, and start in Garudasana with the hands on the hips. There she goes. All right, now be one with your abdomen, and now quickly extend the arms. You can keep the hands beside the hips or extend the arms backward. I'm doing it as well, which you can't see. That's it. Make the body parallel. Lana, raise the chest a smidge. Yes, beautiful. And now bring the leg back to Tadasana. All right, let's see it on the other side, Lana. You can turn around, you can change that. Yeah. All right, so entwine the leg. So see how you make that standing like slightly bent. She's not hooking. Hips are balanced side to side. Now focus on your abdomen moving back, Lana, as you extend the trunk forward, reach back. So you make Warrior 3 happen from the abdomen, not from the leg parts or the bony skeletal parts. Good. Now her arms are reaching backward, and I actually find that that's really helpful. Or yes, out to the side, but let's not take the arms overhead because that makes it more challenging. So either hands on hips as she did on the first side, or she extended the arms backward. Thank you, Lana. All right, I'm going to unspotlight you. Okay, now I'll see everyone in gallery view. All right, here we go. So pick a leg, it doesn't matter which. So again, you're doing, let me just iterate what we're doing here. We're doing Virabhadrasana 3 with hands on hips or arms backward from Garudasana. So you can start with any leg, you're in Garudasana. Now what I like to do is put my hand on my navel band and get that action from the get-go. Don't rely on your limbs. And now reach back with that right or left leg as you extend the trunk forward. So you really see that balance comes from an engagement, good Nancy, of the abdomen. Beautiful. And out you come. You don't have to stay long. 20 seconds is plenty. All right, change sides when you're ready. Establish Garudasana. No commingling of groins. Hips are even, Stephen. Hips are even. All right, now have faith. Put your hand on your navel. The first action is draw that abdomen back. That's it, Mary Beth. And then reach back as you extend the trunk forward. Wait there. Feeling a little lower in the chest. Peggy a little higher in the leg. Remember, that's it, Andrea. The body should be parallel. Beautiful, Nancy. And out you come. Well done. Now, because we did a fair amount of abdominal work, but there is more to this sequence, and I won't be able to teach it to you on Friday because I'm not here on Friday. I'd like you to just rest your abdomen completely in that supine Baddha Konasana. You don't have to have the feet elevated on the bolster, just flat. And just rest your abdomen there. So you can see we started out slowly, supine and seated, then we really built up to Warrior 3 from Garudasana. So I didn't get to a point in this sequence where I wanted to detour to Warrior 2 and Warrior 1, teaching you kind of an isometric exercise for your quadriceps in coming into Virabhadrasana 2 and 1. I'll get to that next week. Just relax with the arms out to the side. So two of the takeaways that I wanted you to get from this was the shape of Malasana and Utkatasana are very different, where the knees are in relationship to the groins. The other thing I wanted you to take away from this sequence is oftentimes when we're focused on balance, we feel imbalance, all right? Today was to incline your mind to move to a balancing poses from your abdomen. So we did that, as you can see, in standing on 2 feet in Utkatasana, standing on 1 leg Garudasana, and then of course into Warrior 3. And I think that's a view, the right view of balancing pose, because often when we're focused on balancing, on the foot only, it actually is not helpful. Now from here, I'd like you to move to Shavasana with the lower legs on the seat of the chair, the way we did last week. I think this is very palatable to most of you for your low back. You can have the bolster on the roots of the thighs. Yeah, just put the lower leg on the seat of the chair. That's it, Winnie. Bolster on the roots of the thighs and get traction from the get-go. This should feel particularly good after this sequence. I mean, some people, Warrior 3 can bother their back a little bit, but if you're doing it with that abdominal awareness, you don't get that overarching in your lower spine, which is particularly problematic for more flexible people. And just relax. Just have the arms out to the side and just enjoy your breath. Just feeling the parts of the body that are in contact with the earth, back of the head, the arms, the buttocks. Feet are apart in the chair so that the abdomen can spread. And there's length in the lower spine, having first adjusted in the pose with the hands on the roots of the thighs or bolster. Relax the sides of the throat, the bottom of the throat. And although the eyes may or may not be closed, sense the eyes are spreading to the outer temples. If the eyes are open, they would see the periphery of the room. And again, see if you can, as I spoke of earlier in the class, if you can release the inner urgency to be somewhere else. Now I realize if one had an appointment at 11 o'clock, you might be focused on that. But for those of you who don't have anything immediately following this class, see if you can just release that inner urgency to be anywhere else but here. Again, this is just the conditioning of our mind to be somewhere else, on to the next thing, and then the next thing. Just notice that. So in this way, you're moving away from the tendency is to be scattered, fragmented, and see if you can move to a whole state wholeheartedly, not a fragmented state. Be here now wholeheartedly, putting down, putting aside everything else. Peacefully, calmly abiding within yourself, peacefully, calmly abiding in this world. You might notice that it takes far more energy to be somewhere else than to be here now. Sense yourself, tuning yourself to presence. And then if you feel like you want to sit the remaining minute or so that we have, that's fine. It's always nice to sit and work on a more formal practice of sitting. Although know that meditation can be done standing and lying down. Some of you have told me that you like to spend a few moments sitting, both at the beginning of the class and at the end of the class. If that's appropriate for you, you can cross your legs or sit in Virasana. And again, sit and know that you're sitting. Fully attuned to this moment. Setting aside any fragmentation, what's happening next. Again, because we did that work on the lumbar spine, see that you're not pushing forward from the organic body. Yes, place the hand on the navel band. Sense you're drawing slightly back. It's interesting, if we are pushing the organic, we're projecting the eyes forward. So abdomen back, let the eyes recede backward. Let sound fade away. Spend these remaining minutes we have in a seated, upright state, balancing side to side. So I'm going to unmute everyone and then of course, oh no, you have to unmute yourself. I keep saying that. But I will stop the recording. And then because we focused on a lot today, I will, if anyone has any questions, I will hopefully be able to answer.